Now, I know every NASCAR YouTuber in existence made a video on this topic within an hour of the race finishing on Saturday, and I know I mostly focus on the history of motorsports, but sometimes I just gotta chime in on current events that are happening in the racing world. And this past Saturday's NASCAR Xfinity race is no exception. Now, NASCAR knew exactly what they were doing by making Martinsville the final cutoff race and the last opportunity for drivers to make it to the championship four. It manufactures drama exactly like we got here on Saturday in the NASCAR Xfinity race. And let me tell you, tensions are high within Richard Childress Racing due to the events that took place on Saturday between teammates Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill, who both had a chance to qualify for the Final Four and compete for a championship this weekend at Phoenix. However, they both had slightly different scenarios of punching their ticket to Phoenix and competing for that championship. But first, let's take a look at this final restart.
A shot to make it into the championship four. It's overtime, presented by Credit One Bank. Hill on the inside, Creed on the outside. Back to the gas they go. Way up the racetrack goes Hill. Creed into the back of the 21. He doesn't push him up high enough, but here he comes. He gets to the inside. The white flag's in the air. One more time around, the 7 got into the wall. Now Creed pushing the 21 up the racetrack. They're side by side. Creed has to win to make it into the championship four. He's never won in the Xfinity Series. They smoked the tires. Here comes the 7. Contact made. The 7 of Allgaier on the inside. Creed, Allgaier's gonna win in Martinsville. And they wreck on the front stretch. Big contact.
Well, as you can see, things went from good to very, very bad for Richard Childress Racing here, as they had an opportunity for both cars to make it to the championship four. Although it would be super close, I will admit, but they could have definitely very easily had one car in the championship four, but instead, Justin Allgaier, who was below the cut line, ended up getting the win, locking himself into Phoenix and eliminating both Richard Childress Racing cars. Now, you watch that final restart and you would think, hey, you know, that's nothing out of the ordinary for a race at Martinsville, especially the late season one that has championship cutoff implications. And it was just some good hard short track racing, and me as a fan, I love to see that kind of stuff. It was super exciting. I was watching the race, I was screaming at the TV. It was awesome. But what really blew this whole situation up was what happened off track. And it's not exactly what you think might have happened. You would think there'd be some beef and maybe a fight or argument between Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill, but no, that is not what happened at all. Instead, Sheldon Creed just got absolutely trashed and thrown under the bus, left for dead by Richard Childress Racing, including RC himself, who said to NBC Sports and Dustin Long, and I quote, "I've had drivers drive for me before, but nobody as stupid as Sheldon Creed. You don't do that as a team player. What else do you want me to tell you?" On top of those comments from RC himself, the vice president of competition at Richard Childress Racing, Andy Petrie, was caught on video laying into Sheldon Creed immediately after the race. Check this out. To me, this was completely uncalled for, and I don't understand why they're just completely torching Sheldon Creed when Austin Hill is equally as responsible and raced the same way. Sheldon Creed could have completely dumped Austin Hill like Ty Gibbs did the previous year to Brandon Jones, but he didn't. He bumped him, moved him up the track, and let him race. But Austin Hill also ran into Sheldon Creed too, so in my opinion, they were both equal at fault for this situation. They both ran hard. They both had an opportunity to make the championship four. They both want to win the race to get there, so it just doesn't make sense why Sheldon Creed is getting treated so poorly. I understand Sheldon Creed is leaving. He's going to Joe Gibbs Racing next year, but that is not an excuse, especially because Sheldon Creed still had an opportunity to win a championship for Richard Childress Racing this year. These two guys have also had run-ins previously in the year. For example, I was at this Xfinity race here in Bristol, and Sheldon Creed got into Austin Hill and ended up wrecking him. So maybe there was some pre-animosity before this, but in this scenario, Sheldon Creed did absolutely nothing wrong. Let's hear from both drivers, and this is their take on the incident.
How would you describe that last lap?
I mean, I know Sheldon has to win to get in, but I mean, at least give me a chance. Didn't feel like I was given a chance. And then when he got like shoved up the racetrack or whatever happened, I haven't seen the replay getting into 3, but whenever he went up the racetrack, he just parked it in the center of the corner and blew the radiator out of it. So I had no power coming off 4, and that's why I wrecked. So I cannot wait for him to get out of RCR. Can't wait to have Jesse Love as a teammate. Maybe he'll work better with me. Just cannot wait for him to get over to Joe Gibbs Racing. I don't have to put up with this shit no more.
Is this something, Austin, you say that, is this something that dates back further than this race, or is this an incident that you're saying?
He just drives over his head. He always has. Back in the truck days he did. We became buddies last year, and we became buddies this year and all, and it's just uncalled for. I know he's trying to win the race, obviously. And the problem is I kind of felt like I was in a position where I needed to win the race, because if he won, I thought that it might possibly knock me out, because I didn't know where Custer was. I just knew that I had to be like 5 spots in front of Custer. So yeah, it's just frustrating. I mean, nothing I can really say. Everyone on this 21 team needs to hold their head up, though, going to Phoenix. We fought really hard this year. Should be in the Final Four just as much as the Final Four that's in it. So just frustrating.
What Andy said to
what did he say? He was just mad at how I raced the 21, but roles reverse. They don't say anything. You know, probably part of the reason that I'm leaving. So, you know, obviously they're going to be mad, but I felt like I got them up off the bottom, and I gave them a chance to finish second or third, and I don't know, they all just drive into at the end. I don't know, the 20 got them. So. Is it dirty or is it fair? Yeah, but here I'm watching the replay here. We're side by side in the 3. You know, I drive up the hill. He gets me really hard in the center, and then I don't know, the 20 spins him. So I can't control the 20 spinning. You know, he is going to be in. Does he not spin?
So that's what both drivers had to say on the whole ordeal here. Sheldon Creed actually kept it very respectful, while Austin Hill did not, and literally said he cannot wait for Sheldon Creed to leave RCR. And I understand that Sheldon Creed has not won a race this year, and Austin Hill has won 4 races, but 2 of those were on super speedway style tracks. And I will give Austin Hill credit, he's one hell of a super speedway racer, and he does run well everywhere else. But Sheldon Creed's pretty solid too, and Sheldon Creed literally won a truck championship in Phoenix. So I would say that he would have a just as good shot at winning a championship for RCR as Austin Hill would going into Phoenix this weekend. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think on this whole situation. Let me know in the comments below. And also just let me know if you want me to cover more relevant, newer topics and not just the history, or if you want me to just keep it a once in a while thing. That's all for now, and I hope to see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.